Leverage agent. That is what we're launching. That is what I've been building. This is really how I see myself. And I've been doing this for 16 months now. And so I've been able to help quite a few agents implement this into their own business. And I want to now take it to as many people as I can, because I think this is the way real estate is going. It's 2024. There's somebody on the call that sells many homes in a year than I've done in my career. So you're not listening to me because I know how to sell the most amount of homes. I think you're interested in this call because I've been to figure out how to 100 homes a year with not a lot of hassle. So that's my calling card, is not building this big old team. But I did try it. I've been in organizations, I've been in masterminds to try to figure out how to do it. So we're gonna spend two seconds on me, then move on. But this was really one of my better years. Was 2021. I had this team. We did 132 units for 1.5 million. That's not going to set any records, but it was a good living and we were having fun. It's my 15th year in real estate, and that's my wife, Julia. That's my family. This is what drives everything. My deepest intention is to spend a lot of time with my kids and with my wife, and we've been able to do that. I'm that tortoise. I've been able to make good money for a long time, and that's allowed me to have a pretty good life because I didn't have to make it all in 1 year. I've had good years. Right? But this is that disappearing photo from Back to the Future. So what I did was, that was the team in 2021, and starting in 2022, the market was shifting, right? It was shifting everywhere. So I'm a profit first person, and as soon as it got to where I didn't like it, in September, I cut $600,000 of needed GCI. So we could do, let's say we did 1.5, I'm like, we just did 900 grand, I'll make the same amount of money. Got rid of staff, so you can see people start disappearing, and I got it down to on the right. I have one agent, she's amazing, and I have one transaction coordinator, and the rest are going to be done with virtual assistants. This is how, and what was awesome was when I'm like, hey, if I could do 800, 600 grand less, I only did 59 grand less. So you talk about a delta and a lot of profit. That's what I was able to do without leaving the office. All right, so why am I teaching this class? What's my goal? It is to have you guys live a different life in real estate than maybe you thought possible. And this is for team leaders. This is for solo agents. I firmly believe if you run a team, you should sell the first 100 homes through a massive amount of leverage that doesn't disrupt your life, and then let your team sell the other 400, 600, 800. Or if you're a solo agent, I think it's for everybody. I'm gonna play a quick video for you. It's 1.5 minutes. If you can't hear my audio, just drop it. It should be there. But this is why I'm teaching this. So
I met Dave about a year ago at a time in which I was transitioning from being on a team to being a solo agent. When I transitioned and I became a solo agent, I only knew one way of business, which was make the deals myself, so prospect for myself, then open my own doors, then write my own offers and go to the inspections and etc. Which caused me to go through valleys of the highs and lows of whichever realtor's ever been in, where we get business, we prospect, we get deals, we go, and then we hit this peak where we get paid, and then we fall into a valley of no deals, because this whole time that we could have been prospecting, we were taking care of transactions. And I didn't want to keep doing that and going through that valley. So, when I met Dave, he was the one who taught me how to leverage my life, right? He introduced me to virtual assistants that now take care of all the mundane tasks that I don't want to do. He introduced me to the showing partner model, and then eventually Show-Amy, which has taught me how to show homes and sell houses when I'm taking, my 11th vacation to Nebraska a year with my family. He then helped leverage my business and introduce me to new softwares and new CRMs and GGMS, and introducing me to that. So Dave Z has helped me become the epitome of now what I call myself a virtual agent. I don't leave my house. I work from this desk, this chair. I'm able to assist my wife whenever she needs me. And so my entire current business model to Dave Z and leverage agents.
Okay, so that is what I want to recreate. This agent sold nearly 30 homes his first year in the business. Now, he was on a team, and what's really cool is his team leader, I have a testimony from him, so they parted ways, and his team leader went from 700,000 in GCI to 1.2 million in GCI without him. And they both win. We're all still friends. I've got to mentor both of them. I'm actually smoking a cigar with one of them today, and I think one next week, just to go over some business stuff. So I've been able to mentor them, and to see him sell almost 30 homes his first year without leaving his office. And when he said, I was able to help my wife, it's because both of these gentlemen had their first children, their first kids while doing real estate. And I remember what that was like to go out and show homes when my wife was home with the kids. That's what I am hoping to recreate for you guys. So what is the roadmap that we're going to go over? And I know there's questions and we'll do Q&A at the end. So go ahead and put them in there, but we'll get to them at the end if we have time. If not, I will get to everybody's questions at some point. So this is the roadmap to freedom. You should be able to generate leads through leverage, convert leads with leverage, do your buyer and listing presentation virtually, have somebody else transact the real estate for you, handle the client communication for 3%. That's, let's say, the commission, but it says communication. But you want to be able to get all of that done without leaving the office for about 3% of the transaction. Step 5, all of it's done per file, not on salaries. What changed my life was I got everything done per file. So if I decided not to sell anything in 2 months, I had no overhead. If I wanted to sell a bunch in 2 months, I paid for it. That has been the secret sauce to me. Here's what I'm going to tell you is there's 3 things that can happen for you today. And I'm okay with all 3 of them because I'm going to keep running this. This is for you. But here are the 3 things. You can watch everything that I'm doing. I'm going to give my playbook today and you go run with it. And I hope you crush it and do it. 2, you do nothing with it. 3, I can implement this for you within a couple of days. And so full disclosure, I'm going to offer an opportunity to work for me for pennies for a very low fee. I'm going to show you how we can implement this tomorrow. The biggest thing that ever happened in my career was in 2008, I went because my broker said, hey, if you go get this designation, we'll give you leads. And this was during the foreclosure and short sale days. So they said, if you go get your certified distressed property expert, we'll hand you leads. I was like, I need that. I desperately needed leads. So I went and got the designation. It was like $400 to go to a 3-day course. But Alex Sharfin, who ran CDPE, gave me all of the standard operating procedures, all of the forms. He basically gave me a playbook. And then he said, if you want a website, it's $99 a month. We'll run it. It's all built. I did that. And within 60 days, I had 35 short sales on the market. And my claim to fame is I became one of the biggest short sale realtors in all of the Valley. We did, I think, 700 short sales. And that is what launched my career. And I don't think it would happen if I just left there and go, now what? Now I got to go build it. But I just paid for it. They implemented it. I think I paid them $10,000 in $99 monthlies. And do the math with 700 closings, who got the better end of that deal? So I am here to implement it if that is something that you want done. So we'll talk about that when we get to the end here. But if you can watch this and do it, go do it. So what if Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk ran their companies like real estate teams? I can just tell you I've done the math. Instead of making $12 billion, Jeff Bezos would have made zero money had he ran his business like the way we do, where because he was off on his yacht and do what he wanted to do, the agent that delivered the package got half of the deal, right? Hey, you take care of it. His 12 billion would have all been wiped out to zero. So he doesn't run it like that. He runs a very good distribution model, and so does Elon Musk, and I'm going to show you how to run a good distribution model. So when somebody asks me, like, why do this, what it's all about, I go, because it's about freedom, massive freedom. You get physical freedom, location freedom, time freedom, and mental freedom. I'm going to show you. We're going to go through a case study of a buyer that closed yesterday, and I'm going to show you how I got him from start to finish. And I could have been anywhere on the planet, and because of how we have these systems, I'm able to check out from the transaction as much as I would with a buyer's agent. So you can have money and time, and I think that's what we're all chasing, right? So this is what I love to do. I'm in New England a lot. We went there. This is in October. That's me eating lobster. I love it. That was the view out of my master bedroom. That's the ocean. It's not a lake. Like, that goes right out to the ocean. I got to see that sunrise every morning. That's my wife, Julia. And what's cool about this picture for me is about 4 minutes before we took that picture or so, I was able to make a phone call and tell a buyer, congratulations, you just closed escrow on your home. There's a lockbox waiting for you. Can't wait to meet you and see the home that I helped you buy once you get settled. And I'm in New England, and we're doing real estate in Arizona. So I believe everybody can do that. Now, I don't think I should do real estate in New England when I'm in Arizona because I don't know anything about it. I can't serve my clients there. But I could be in New England or in Hawaii and serve and not have to manage a bunch of agents, and I can transact, and my consumer was very happy. In fact, he told my lender, best home transaction he ever did. So I want to show you how to keep 90% of this, and I'm going to go fast because I've got a lot more to do. $109,000 is about what I spent in private masterminds in 36 months. That was like fees to be there. That was subscriptions. That was travel costs. And what did I learn? Very few team leaders are making the money that we maybe think they're making when we're not running a team. My final kind of mastermind meeting was in Cabo for 5 days when we opened up our P&Ls. And I was just shocked at really what the true profitability was for people selling 7 million, 8 million of commission. It is not what most people think it is. And that's why I said, you know what? I'm done chasing this. I'm going to chase this. That was a year ago. That was in January. And it's been a phenomenal year. So what do you need to run this model? We're going to go through the logistics. What do you need? And this is where you're just going to be able to run with it if you don't need any of my help. One of the best books I recommend reading is 10X is Easier Than 2X. Dan Sullivan. It's a great book, but it really matches well with what we're doing. To get 10X to get 2X, most people just have to work twice as hard. Hey, I sold 30 homes last year. I want to sell 60 homes this year. Twice as many showings, twice as many dials. That is where you're going to get so bottlenecked. You're going to become your own bottleneck if you do that. If you think 10X, if you think I sold 20 homes last year, what would it take to sell 200 homes? You're going to have to get rid of 80% of what you do. And the current model, like guys, we're up against a system that doesn't want you to sell a lot of homes. If you think about it, the real estate school wants more people. The brokers want more people. My broker doesn't make a dime from me. So the more I produce, the more I get back from my current brokerage. They want the monthly subscriptions. They want the E&Os. So this entire industry is pumping more bodies, not profitability. So I really turned it on its head and said, what if I just don't do 80% of what I'm supposed to do? And can I scale? And the answer is yes. So I see somebody's reading that book right now. It is awesome. Step one, this is going to be the bread and butter. So Shawami is the key to my life. That Matt Kuchar started this company. And if I've given you any value up until now or before, here's my ask. Please scan this code and allow me to get a $10 referral, and you get a $10 referral. But Matt Kuchar started this company. I was on a call with him the other day, and I told him, hey, we're going to do this webinar, but we've become friends. I'm one of his biggest users on the platform. And so there's the link, but there's a QR code, and let me drop this link in the chat box right now. But this is where I get my maximum freedom. So if you've never heard of it, this is Uber drivers that are realtors. That's what I call them. So there's my link. If you click on that, you'll get 10 bucks. I'll get 10 bucks for our next showing. But basically what we're able to do, and here's one thing I want to do. Give me maybe somebody who lives in maybe an obscure city, not like Dallas or Phoenix. Somebody drop in again where maybe we don't see is Shawami in there. So St. George, Utah. Let me get out of this here and let's go to St. George, Utah. So this is what Shawami looks like. And if we come down here, I'm going to come down to showing agent coverage. Full disclosure, this works phenomenal in Arizona. It works great in Dallas. It works great in a lot of big cities. But basically, this company allowed me to get rid of 2 salaried showing partners. So we hear showing partners a lot. There's nothing new in real estate about that. But I was paying $3,000 a month. I was paying them 5% of the commission. I was reimbursing their gas. And then, oh, they weren't available when I needed them. What do you mean you're busy? Or what do you mean you're sick? So now we get 100% coverage within an hour. So when somebody wants to see a home within an hour, we book it through this website. Okay. So let's check St. George, Utah. And while I'm doing this, somebody's check their own city and drop in the chat how many agents are available up in those necks of the woods. Okay. So I don't know how big this coverage is, but there are 61 agents in St. George, Utah that if you asked right now, hey, I have a buyer that wants to see a home in 2 hours, it'll go to 61 agents and one of them will pick it up. So I believe this is going to keep growing. I keep seeing it grow in Phoenix. So I'll just show you here. If I go into, and I'm in Chandler, let's go to Chandler. There's nobody in CH. That's good. Chandler, Arizona. So the last time I looked at this, there was 1,200 and change. So we've already grown to 1,347. So when I do my buyer presentation, I can tell them, hey, I've got about a staff of 1,300 agents here in the Valley that are willing to show homes for us. And that's part of my buyer presentation is you're never going to hear the word no from me because I got about 1,300 people on staff that are ready to see houses. 874 agents in Alexandria, Virginia. So this, if you don't finish the webinar, if you don't want to work with me, this is what you need to run what I'm running. Now I think you need a good buyer presentation, you need the SOPs, and then what we're going to get into is how my virtual assistants run this. And guys, if you have any reservations about it, I can just tell you my clients adore it. They love it. I've had 0 issues in 16 months. Nobody's ever been sick. No one's ever no-showed. It just works like clockwork. And it costs me $38 a door to get it opened. Okay, so compare that to what it was with a buyer's agent. All right, let's get back to here. So you're going to add staff members on demand. Instead of, I got to 2 full-time people because 1 wasn't enough. And I was like, man, I'm spending $6,000 a month plus bonuses, plus training, plus just my time. I had to teach them. I don't have to teach them anything. And really what it came down to me is I really didn't want as many relationships in my business. I have 5 kids that I want relationships with. I have friends, I have family. People like you're gonna see last night, somebody did a final walkthrough for me and I don't even know who they are and I don't wanna know who they are, and that hopefully it doesn't make me a bad person, but I don't wanna get to know my Uber driver either. I just wanna get in and get there. So they are licensed realtors who will open doors for you. Now you gotta check your rules and regulations in your state. I've cleared it with my brokers. I've cleared it with my national brokerage. They're fine with it. So you gotta check. I know there's different rules in different states. Like in California, I think you have to be there at least once, or right? Like I never go, but I think you're just gonna have to find out what your state requires and adhere to it. But the one thing you should take away from this is you never have to open the door again. If you have the right script, you're gonna serve people through other agents. There was a day where I looked up and I saw 8 buyers looking with 8 Shawami agents. How do you duplicate that with your own staff? It would be impossible. So you can spend nothing or you can spend a lot. All right. So step 2 to run my model is you need virtual assistants. These are my 4 amazing virtual assistants. They are just incredible people. They are changing my lives and I'm hoping I'm changing their lives, but they handle 80% of my client communication. They impersonate me in my CRM. And we're going to show you what that looks like. Step 3, get rid of your cell phone in the transaction. My personal cell phone is not involved, and that allows me to travel and have my messages monitored by my staff. They respond on my behalf, but as long as you're this guy, your phone is here, you are going to be trapped and not have people working for you. And your email. Someone's got to get into your email. All right, Steve Z's got yeah, of course he does. So there's my older brother, Steve. He actually taught me about Shawami. So I appreciate that. Step 4, you need a robust CRM with massive automation and retargeting video tools. You need to have a great system to be able to run this with a lot of automation. I believe you need a dedicated pay per file TC, not a salaried one. So my TC does everything for me, and I've given her on average 108 closings over the last 5 years. So she's willing to do a lot for me, and that's the relationship I demand, and we're mutually okay with it. So she'll write offers for me at 9 o'clock. My TC, her cost is low, and she won't let me raise it because I've outsourced her to maybe 30 agents in the Valley that work with her. I'm building her business. I'm putting virtual assistants into her business. So she only charges me $225 a file to get this done. Would I pay more? I've tried to. She was at my Christmas party, which like last year was 13, this year was like 4 of us. So my bill was a lot lower. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna raise it. She's like, you are not. But that is key. And we'll show you, we're gonna go through what that looks like. You need a killer digital virtual buyer and seller consultation that converts your clients to your system with easy buy-in. So if you decide to work with me, you get my virtual copies. You get everything, all my SOPs plus you just take my buyer presentation, put your logo on it, or we'll build it for you. Step 7, you just need more leads and more time calling them instead of running around. Step 8, I want you to think like it's 2024. You don't need buyer's agents. You need a distribution system, and you need to be like Starbucks. Imagine you're at Starbucks, and so this is one of my quotes, just stay at the cash register. So if I walk into Starbucks and it's a one-person shop, like a lot of agents run it, and I take your order, and then I gotta walk down and pull the shot, and then I gotta print the label and put it in the cup, and then say, hey, order up for Dave, and then there's 10 people in line. I'm like, hey, I gotta go get ice, hold on. If I'm 4th in line, I'm out of there. And what I have found by polling my consumers and the customers, they're irritated by that. Man, you're always busy. Or you're handing me off to a lesser agent. I want you, but then you're giving me to this person. So my clients get me with very little involvement, $3,000 to $4,000 an hour pay, because I'm not delegating the core competency of negotiations and sales. I let other people pull the shots and serve the drink. So stay at the cash register. These are the 5 things that we will cover in my 6-week course. I'm gonna go deep on lead gen, deep on how to lead convert, consult, transact, convert, all through leverage, Okay, so those are the 5 things we're going to go through. So let's go through a case study of a buyer that closed escrow yesterday. Case study of this is what an ideal buyer escrow should look like. It's what it looks like for me. Okay, internet lead came in March of 2023. I can tell you they went through Shawami. It was an 8-minute call, and the reason it was 8 minutes is because, do you ever get on a call and you can just tell there's a lot of friction, a lot of sales guard? And you're like, man, I'm not up for pulling teeth right now, and I could tell this person isn't either. They just wanted to see some houses. Didn't even ask them if they were pre-qualified. And the reason we ask if people are pre-qualified is because we guard our time. It's a roll of the dice. Should I stop what I'm doing and drive out there and maybe you're not pre-qualified? Guys, I let people see homes without ever asking that. It's $39. It's like going to Vegas and putting $39 on a blackjack table. You're like, I know I'm after so many hands, I'm gonna make 15 grand. It's the best return you can do. So we just let them go see houses. Now, I obviously booked this and I said, hey, Navarro is the first home we're gonna meet at, and Kathy's gonna meet you there, and here's her number. So you'll see later on, I have virtual assistants doing that, but I was able to book that like in real time. Like 11:07 is when we called, and 11:07 is when I had it booked. Super easy. Went right into Xiaomi, placed the order. It's about as easy as ordering an Uber. All right. So now they put things on pause till December. My CRM and my automation told me to call them. So December 6th, I spoke at a conference for NLA Live. I was on stage from 2:45 to 3:30. And then at 3:52, I got into my CRM, which tells me there's a bucket of people to call, and it's very accurate. I get about a 40% response rate from that bucket alone. The rest of the leads get about a 7% contact rate, but it segments and sorts my people automatically and said, hey, if you call this list, you'll get 40% of them will pick up and want to talk to you. He was in that list. I called him at 3:52. He didn't answer. I called some more people. I came back to him because he was my highest priority. 12.5-minute call. I booked a listing appointment. I was on my way to a dance recital, and we booked it for Friday. Turns out he wanted to buy. So you can see at 8:30 listing appointment, at 9:12, I get through my listing. I have 6 different ways we're going to list your home. We picked the one that was going to work for him. And then we picked, are we buying or selling first? We decided we were going to buy first. So I sent him his registration again. I played a video for him on the screen that says, this is how you're going to work with me. He agreed to do it that way. He understood that I would not ever be at the property, but I would crush it on his negotiations. So you're going to get me with, I've been part of 1,300 home sales, right? $500 million of real estate, not a bad resume. Some of you have better ones, but that was my story. You're going to get really good negotiations from me, and other people are going to show you the home. He said, no problem. You can see he starts saving homes. There's some automation that starts, so you can see all these automations are starting to happen, and that makes sure we don't miss anything on it. And there's videos that are going to start going out to him. So we'll go deep on this once, I think that's week 3. We go deep on that. He's saving homes. And then it's 1 o'clock. I have a 5-minute call from him, and we talk about what homes he wants to look at. And so right here, this is where it gets fun. This is where I just feel like this is amazing. This is what I want to see for you guys. So now my virtual assistants start jumping into the transaction. So we have a whole handoff SOP that we'll hand over to you, like how does this start and when. But you can see at 2:54, we jump on another call, and he's like, Dave, he's an old farmer. Not old, but he is older, retired. He bought a retirement home yesterday. And I don't know how to show these things. I just know there's 7 that I want to go see. No problem. So on the call, I'm typing my notes. I tag Eliza, who is the virtual assistant on the floor that day. And I said, please set up the showing starting at 11 tomorrow for the 7 saved listings. I create a task. And so immediately it goes to them. There's a task that has to be cleared out. And you can see Friday, so what was it? This was 2:54. And this is where I get my mental freedom. So yeah, I had physical freedom because I didn't leave the office, but I trust my staff so much that I'm checked out. I'm on to the next thing. I'm on to prospecting or being with my kids, whatever I want to do. And within, what is that, less than 2 hours, Eliza went into the MLS, booked out the 7 homes, found out that 1 was already sold, so we're down to 6, and got the gate codes, got the alarm codes, did all that stuff, built the route. I'm out of it. My mental capacity is now onto something else. They booked it into Xiaomi with Michael, went back to the client. Here's what's really, I think is a powerful tool. She is texting from my number. So if you can see, that phone call was the 531-5446. So nobody knows that it's not me. right? Everybody thinks it's me. I am building equity into that relationship. People think I work my butt off, but I pay people to impersonate me, and they do a phenomenal job. And this is what we can implement where we are in your CM. This is the freedom. I am not doing any of this, and I didn't delegate it to a buyer's agent. So it's all booked. And the next day, so the day of showing, I reach out to him and to let him know, hey, let me know how it goes. So our VAs do send that out, and now we have more automation just based on this. So the beauty of my system is every time something happens, there's a reaction. There is a catch, there's an automation and like a safety net that puts in this automation so we don't miss anything. Then where do we go here? So he calls me the next day. It's now Sunday, and I reject the call because I'm eating lunch. Just say, hey, can I call you back in 10 minutes? He says, sure. He's like, hey, I like those 2 homes. So you're still gonna work, okay? When I show you this, like you're still gonna work, but it is the work that matters. It's your core competency. My core competency is converting people, getting them to work with me, and I believe I'm very good at pricing homes and I'm very aggressive on negotiations. So I'm gonna keep my hands on that while the other 80% is outsourced. So that's my promise to my clients. You're gonna get the best of me and the best of other people, and I think that's gonna create the best experience. So it's 12:36 on Sunday. He's, Dave, I really like these 2 homes. Guess what I said? Do you wanna go see them again? I wouldn't normally be excited on a Sunday because for me, if you know me, it's God first, family second, work third. On that day, on Sundays, my biggest priorities are my family and God. And so I don't want to run out to see houses. Money is below it. But because I'm not having to give up my time and just money, I'm like, why don't we go see those 2 homes again? He goes, yeah, that'd be a good idea. What about right now? I think we could do now. So I'm pushing the action because it's not me. And I think you're going to see your conversion go up because we self-sabotage, don't we? When we're afraid to do something, we're in the back of our minds, we're like, no, I don't want to do this. Back in our brain, it's like, hey man, I thought you were going to go to church and be with your kids today. So like, why don't we try Monday? You're going to lose people because you don't want to leave and go out into the field. So I lived up to my word, and I spent 45 minutes pricing out 2 homes because I knew he was very serious on this. So the time it would have taken me to book the showings, drive out there, I used that time instead to give him a high-level video through Vimeo that he could watch on his own as to where we need to price this home. So I send him that. He gets it before he even goes out and sees the house. And Chanel is going to meet you at 2:30. So that was 76 bucks. We'll do the math later. He ended up buying Kiva yesterday. He went onto my website and used Fellow, which is an amazing tool for sellers. You should look into Fellow if you're using a HomeBot. Throw it out and go get Fellow. Now it is a lot more expensive. It's about 10 grand versus pennies, but it is a phenomenal tool. He priced it. 553 was where it came in. They were listed at 540. I really thought it was worth 560 in my pricing videos. I got it for 521. So I called the agent and said, hey, I butter them up. I'm good at buttering up the agents. Great job on the listing. Man, you've been doing this 30 years. I'd be honored to work with a realtor like you. Hey, listen, I got a great cash buyer. We don't want to counter. I've already gone through the numbers. We need to be at this number. Do you think you can get that done with your sellers? And he did. 9-minute call for him to discuss the offer, right? What to expect. So I'm working, but when we tally this up, it's not that much time. When we add up all of these little minutes, it's not much time. So this is how I write my offer. And I leave the notes as I'm talking to him because I'll forget. So as we're talking, I'm like, all right, we're writing on this. We're 525. We ended up closing for 521 because I got some more money in repairs. The repairs came out to about 2 grand. I asked for another 4 grand. But if you're still writing your offers, I would tell you to stop. So I'm going to play for you a 90-second video. It takes me 90 seconds to write an offer, and you can do this from anywhere on the planet. I don't type, I shoot videos. Okay, let's play this here. On Kiva for Kelly Horst. He is should be in Sisu, should be in Sierra. Name is going to be Kelvin Horst. Spelling this here, Kelvin. The wife is Jeannie, and it's Jeannie, but her full name is Janelle, Jennell. And we're going to be offering on Kiva Street. Hold on one second. So Kiva Street, 525. It's going to be a cash sale. Buyer will pay the HOA transfer and capital improvement fee. And then there's fridge, washer, and dryer. We want to use Fidelity for the title company. And so again, this property here, so 525. I've already talked to David.
And so yeah, what else do we need? So close of escrow date, let's put it for January, I think it's 3rd. So yeah, no, January 4th. So they're going to be back on time the 2nd. We'll walk on the 3rd. We can close on January 4th. So let me know if there's anything else you need. Earnest deposit, make it $5,000 cash. And yeah, close January 3rd, fidelity, all that good stuff. So let me know what else you need. I appreciate it.
All right, so that took me 90 seconds. I'll shoot it on my phone if I'm out doing something. If I'm in front of the computer, I'll do that. But that speeds up my time. And I hate typing. I like to just sit in this chair and shoot a video. So I write the offer. It's 12:53, and here's the beauty. I am checked out. Like, I film that and it's gone. I don't even think about it anymore. I'm on to the next one to do either work or play, whatever I want, but it's gone. I have total mental freedom because I trust the people that work for me. 1:15, I have my lead VA who manages my emails knows it's a black hole. I don't find money in my emails, so I don't go in there. She sends it to me at 1:15. She has to text me like, you have the offer. I just review it. I'm like, it looks good. She sends it to the client at 1:55. And then this is really, because people will tell me, Dave, it only takes me 10 minutes to write an offer. I don't think so. Really, to get it done, this took 6 hours of me not being involved. The TC got it signed. She had to get proof of funds, which I heard was a nightmare for him to get his bank statements and screenshot it. It was super difficult to get it signed. Hey, the wife didn't sign it, right? You're managing that mentally. I don't think we realize how much mental tax is just getting us across the finish line. And a lot of you are probably saying, Dave, well, my admin does that. And so a lot of you are leveraged already, but I like checking out and being gone. And then I see at 6:40, she delivers it. Next thing we know, I text at 6:51. I want to be involved. Stevie, my TC, could have just texted them. I like to do these touch points. It's where I feel like I'm connecting with them because I don't meet them in person. So I say, hey, we delivered the offers to the seller last night. Then Tuesday it was accepted. So at 9 o'clock, I spent 10 minutes on the phone with him. And he was cool at 5:35. I said, let me handle this. He's like, let's just do 5:35. We love the home. I said, hey, we got it done for 5:25. He's like, wow, you made me 10,000. Thank you so much. I was happy at 5:35. So that is where I delivered on my promise on our buyer consult. And that's what I feel good about, is I crush it there. Next thing we have to do is the Binzer. So I am out. The home inspection, I think I missed a slide here. I did. But anyways, there's another slide here where Stevie will schedule the home inspection. And we make sure we script, I'm not attending for your benefit. And we can go more to that. I won't go in on this call, but my script is, here's why you don't want me there. No agents there, it's just them. And really, I just say for your dignity and because I respect you, be there alone and ask the home inspector if she should cancel without me like peering behind the corner like, wait, you're canceling? You don't want your commissioned agent to be there, so you go. And then I'm gonna teach him how to build his own Binzer list. We won't play this video for the sake of time, but basically my home inspector I needed this software to where he can build it on his own. So what I'll tell people is when you go to the home inspection, there's 3 things that can happen. You're gonna take it, you're gonna cancel, or you're gonna ask them to fix it. Just text me which of those 3 things they are, because I don't want them calling me at 6 o'clock going, oh my gosh, Dave, we gotta talk about the house. Like, I wanna do it on my schedule, not theirs. So I say, just text me if it's one of those 3. They go, hey, we're gonna move forward, but there's things. Great. You're going to get the home inspection. You're going to build out your Binzer list. So you go in, they pit that, they check all the things, then it comes to me in an email. Then we jump on a call and I audit their homework. I'm like, hey, I think you asked for too many things. I don't think you asked for enough. But it took my Binzer from 2 hours to 2 minutes. Okay. Next step, we review it. And then that list gets saved and sent over to the TC. And the way his software works, it's seller to repair, replace by whatever. And it's already built out. She can just copy and paste all that language. Now, here's what's cool. You can see I searched for his email. He has 2 emails for me for this entire transaction. And one was just to build out that request list because we were having some issues. And the other one was we were on a call, 2 days ago? And he was like, do you have an insurance person? I'm like, yeah. But those first 2 are just more like system things, but I'm not in my emails. I don't live in there. I let other people do it. 10 minutes to discuss the Binzer, right? I'm still the main point. He had to get it signed. And yeah, that's all we're doing on here is Jeannie didn't get it signed. So I'm still touching. Guys, I'm still involved. But Again, I want to iterate, it's far less involvement than it was to run a team, and I still haven't left the office. TC coordinates with the buyers, and here's a really cool email. On Tuesday, January 2nd, TC, Stevie, emails Ia, hey, I've scheduled with the buyers their final walkthrough. I don't even know when they're doing their final walkthrough, but they did show on me, and Ia or somebody on the staff booked it, and the final walkthrough happened without me, and he knows. How did the walkthrough go? Everything good for closing tomorrow. I'm not at the walkthrough, but guys, I treat them like grown-ups. Like, do the walkthrough by yourself. Am I a contractor? Do I know if the repairs were done? Like, you just need to get eyes on it, and you don't need me there. I don't believe I have to be there. I don't think I'm doing a disservice. Like, they're grown-ups. Go check out your home. If you're good, let's close. If not, we'll stop. So he said, yep, we're good. And then cost me $32. So I give a lockbox for a closing gift. So that picture, if you can see it, there's a lockbox on the right. We have my sign company for $25 will take a lockbox out of my inventory, go put it on there after close of escrow, transfer the key, and then take a picture of where the keys are. So this cost me, what is that, $57 to have somebody else go transfer the keys and then look at my text message. Hey, lockbox is installed. The code is this. All the keys are in there. That was, the first one was, hey, congrats, we closed. We're going to get a lockbox on there. And now he can go access the home, and it's zero weird. He's not like, why didn't you meet me? Right? He wasn't upset that we didn't meet together. All right. We're getting close, guys. We're really at the end here. So I know this has gone long. How much did that cost to not go to the home? He saw 6 homes on December 8th. That was $228. 2 homes on the 9th for $76. The final walkthrough for $38. The lockbox, that's my closing gift. I know some of you guys are going to be like, that's terrible. We give all of this and this. I'm just not a closing gift person. It is what it is. You can judge me for that, but I just don't give gifts. I think me giving him 10 grand off the house was my gift, and making it a tremendous experience was the gift. So that was $57. My total cost was $399 to transact this. The GCI was $13,000. I kept 96.93%. And if you remember what I posted, this was not planned. I did not plan this. This was just the average. My average is 96.7. I actually won a little bit on this one at 96.93. It was spot on to what I keep. So this is how you can never leave the office and deliver what I think was an amazing experience for him. He got to do everything on his schedule, not ours. Now, what if I gave this to a buyer's agent or I decided to do it myself? GCI 13, keep 50%. Here's what you lose when you give it to a buyer's agent. You lose the relationship, you lose the referrals, repeat business, you lose $6,500. You're going to do it all by yourself. I think you lose your sanity. You have higher costs to run the team. So the way I kept it was pretty easy work. I think when you outsource to other agents, your conversion goes down. Let's say with 99% of the agents. Now the agent that works with me, she's a fantastic converter. And you have one-on-one meetings, all this stuff, right? So here's my closing arguments for you guys. Take action. Russell Brunson, who runs ClickFunnels, the faster you go from idea to action, the faster you win. I owe so much gratitude to Alex Sharfin for giving me the keys to a valuable business model like that. And at the time, I probably felt like he was winning. Oh, I got to give him $400 and it's got to give him $99 a month. This is my question. If we helped you implement this tomorrow, everything that you saw with our VA staff, would that be valuable? And then what if my VAs can start tomorrow for what's going to be 11% of what they cost me? Guys, I have to pay 4 full-time VAs. What if I outsource them to you for a small fee where they can do all of these things? Those are the 2 things I'm offering. So here we go. This is the end of it here. If you want to go through 6 weeks with me where we go deep on all of these, I'm going to charge you $297. That is about 2.5% of your average commission. So I looked at what is the average commission around the country. I'm not even charging you a full 3% of just not of the deal. Let's say your commission is 10 grand. I'm charging you $297 total. And I will take you through 6 weeks of all of these things. It's going to be 1-hour calls. You're going to get all the recordings, all of my SOPs. You get my virtual consultations, everything I need to do to run this. So if you scan that code, that'll take you to the link. And then I'm going to drop this into the chat box. And guys, again, you've got 3 things you can do it on your own, do it with me, or don't do anything. But if it would be helpful, that is the link to check out. And so at the end of this 6 weeks, you'll know how I lead generate, how I lead convert, how the system run things, how we go deep into the process, what the consultation needs to look like. If $297 is too much, I totally get it. I don't judge. I know this is worth a lot more for my time for 6 weeks. And I've seen people go from 700,000 of GCI to 1.2 million. And all they've told me is how much their life has improved. And so hopefully seeing that case study shows you what it can look like. And that was the truth with that person. I've never seen their house. I haven't gone out there. Does anybody see the link in the chat? Can somebody say if you saw it? I dropped it up here. No link in the chat. All right, let me try again. Link is coming now. Does anybody see it in the chat box? Still no. Okay, thank you for whoever told me that. Yeah, it's going to hosts and panelists. You're awesome. I know how to sell real estate. I know how to do webinars. How about we see it now? There we go. But guys and gals, I'd be honored to help you implement this. Now, I'm an all-in type of person. Like so when Matt Kuchar, when I got to spend some time with him, he created this because he just wanted to go on ski trips. And it's Shawami is the name of the service. And I'll drop that in here as well. He just wanted to go on like ski trips. And there's a good test out there called Working Genius. And the Working Genius is like a disc profile. My disc profile or my Working Genius is wonder. And so what I've done in my career is I just wonder how things could be different and better. So I just started to wonder, I'm like, what if I just am always on vacation? What if I like never go show houses instead of just using it for like emergencies? And it worked. And yes, if you missed the beginning, it is recorded. Here's the Shawami link again. So I just said, because I can't see you guys on the webinar, but how many of you have gone on vacation and had somebody fill in for you and it was still a good experience and the client still won? If anybody has done that, just type yes or thumbs up. In your career, did you ever have to do that? So if it worked then, why wouldn't it work now? And I made the conscious decision 16, 17 months ago to get rid of everybody and say, I'm just gonna run this like it's that one-off, and it has worked for 16 straight months without a hitch, okay? So what CRM do I use? I use Sierra Interactive, and I've got some bolt-on technologies that I'll go over with what I use to make that thing work really efficient. So guys, I just don't feel like it's rocket science anymore. We just put a lot of people into the system. We cater to their needs. We let them go see houses. We don't worry about if they're pre-qualified. Now we have a filter in there that if after 5 showings, they don't do a sit down with me, it's up to me. They put a tag on there and my VAs will say, hey, they've done 5 showings and you guys haven't talked. And then it's up to my discretion where I can call them and say, hey, Greg, this is Dave Z. I've shown you 5 houses with my staff. Do you think it's fair at this point that we just talk about what we're doing, how you're doing, like why you're going to buy a house and how you're doing it? And they'll be like, yeah, I guess that's fair because I gave first. I put the deposit into the relationship first, saying, hey, I need to come to my office and I need a prequal. So I'm able to work with strangers, let them go see houses. Yeah, Michael, it'll work. If you have 4 VAs already, you're the perfect candidate to just take this recording and say, hey, just do it. It will work. There's some different nuances, but yes, it'll work. The key for me is that I can add 4 people as collaborators, so I can have people impersonating me in the CRM. Now, if you can't do that, then you say, hey, my staff is gonna be the one that's in charge of this. Do it however you want. And then I will tell you, like I said, I'm all in, so it's all or nothing for me, but you can do this 80% of the time. You can do it 50% of the time. Yeah, Marcus, you will get a recording of this. So use it when you need it. You just test it out. But I'm telling you, you can run this 24/7. Maybe you only want to run it half the time. Maybe you love showing houses and that gives you joy. And so show houses and then have other people looking at houses at the same time. Split it up. But I want you to start thinking differently. And let me answer just a few more questions because we're 50 minutes in. I appreciate all of you that stayed on longer. If there's something I didn't get to, there's a Q&A. Let me get over to here. And is this buyer only? Nope, I use this for listings. And Matt Kuchar and I are working on how we implement this for listings. I was on a call with him the other day. Here's what we're gonna roll out, or Matt, I don't wanna say we, it's his company, but I encouraged him to roll out a listing platform. So when I was in Maine last summer, I did about $59,000 of seller GCI from Maine. And all I did were virtual consults. Which of the 6 ways do you want to sell the property? Then based on that answer was a different person going out to the house. So I have a renovation package. I have a buy before you sell, I'll buy it for cash and then we'll renovate it later. A joint venture. Do you just want a cash offer? So whatever option the seller picks, then I say, hey, my contractor needs to come to the house. My stager needs to come to the house. but it's other people that goes to the homes for me. So we're going to use a company, I think, called Inspectify to go out for $10 and do a full inspection with photos. So the Xiaomi will go out there and you'll pay the Xiaomi fee. And then there's going to be an add-on package where you can get a home inspection report. How great is that going to be? So I do this with listings as well. I just thought buyers would be easier to talk about today, but we'll cover listings in that 6-week course. What else? What are your costs for lead gen? So here's what's pretty cool, guys. I cut lead gen in June of 2022. I have not spent $1 in lead gen since then because I have 30-some thousand people in my database, and we just decided to work with those. So that was part of the $600,000 of needed GCI that I cut because I'm not pumping money into lead gen. Now, that's different for everybody. We're all in different stages. If you have a big database, you can do it. But the way I look at lead gen is your database up to date? Is your call list perfect to zero? Have you cleared out all tasks? If you haven't done that, it's like what I tell my kids. Don't ask for dessert if there's food still left on your plate. So I have a way to audit a database very accurately to say you don't need leads. You need to call the leads you already have. So I'm still in that phase of just calling the leads we already have. If you have a big enough database, you can do that. But I built my business on pay-per-click, and so I will tell you, you'll need to spend between $14 and $20 a pay-per-click lead. You'll probably convert 1% to 2% of them, okay? All right, if you have additional questions, reach out to me. Let me share this screen here on the checkout. You've got my number here. That's my personal cell phone. I'm not afraid to give it to you. And you can email me. You can respond to the emails and just email me, reach out to me, instant message me. I'm super available to help you. This is my passion. And we're gonna wrap up here. You're gonna get a copy of this, watch it again. And I look forward to seeing those of you that come to this 6-week blitz. We're gonna close registration on the 10th. So you got about 5 days to decide if you wanna do that. And then we're gonna launch on the 18th for $297. I'm gonna spend 6 weeks with you. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. God bless you all. I hope this changed some of your lives. And go get leverage and go crush it.